Many have called this library the Harry Potter Library because it looks very similar to the one in the popular movies. When you first walk into the long room, it is breathtaking and you feel like you have stepped back in time to some magical place. Over 200,000 books, marble busts of great thinkers, and historical artifacts are all around you. Take a few steps out of the magnificent hall and you can gaze upon the legendary 1,200-year-old Book of Kells. There truly isn't any place on earth quite like this. Hey everybody, this is Colonel Carson with Family Tree Nuts, and recently we visited Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, and we'd like to tell you a little bit about it. Most of our videos are at historic locations all over the United States, but we have several in many countries as well. So if you like history, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell so you get notifications as to when we post new videos. This video is one of several that we have from Ireland, so be sure to check out our Ireland playlist. Now back to the story about this amazing place. Trinity College is also referred to as the University of Dublin and was modeled after England's Oxford and Cambridge universities. Since its founding, Trinity has been at the center of Ireland's history and politics, and to this day continues as one of the most elite universities in the world. It is said that Trinity was founded to promote civility, learning, and Protestant piety among the youth of Ireland. The college was built on 30 acres, about a kilometer east of the center of Dublin. The grounds had once been the site of the Priory of All Hallows Monastery until the dissolution of monasteries by King Henry VIII, about 60 years earlier. For the first 50 years, the college only had an average enrollment of around 20 students and maintained modest numbers for its first 100 years. During the reign of King James II from 1685 until 1688, Trinity was in danger due to the king being Catholic. The Protestant faculty fled the area and the army used the buildings as barracks and a prison until King James II was defeated and ousted out of power. Trinity remained exclusively Protestant until the enrollment was opened to Catholics in 1793. However, not until 1873, another 80 years later, were Catholics permitted scholarships or a professorship. The college continued to remain almost entirely Protestant because 2 years earlier, in 1871, the Catholic Church banned Catholics from attending Trinity. The ban was finally lifted in 1970, and Trinity now has students from numerous religious faiths. Women were permitted admission in 1904. The bell tower is one of the most picturesque and iconic spots on campus. It is over 100 feet tall and was built in 1853. Students have a superstition if they pass through it while the bell is tolling, they will fail their exams, so they avoid it until graduation day and then take a celebratory stroll through it. The college is home to several items of Irish pride. One of those items is the Brian Boru harp, which is the oldest surviving Irish harp and the insignia of Ireland. It was once mistakenly linked to Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, who was killed in 1014 at the Battle of Clontarf in modern-day Dublin. Also on display is one of the last remaining copies of the 1916 Proclamation of the Irish Republic. This copy was posted to the wall of the General Post Office at the start of the 1916 Easter Rising, which eventually led to Ireland's independence from Great Britain. Both the Brian Boru harp and the 1916 Proclamation of the Irish Republic are on display in the Long Room. The Long Room, which is also called Trinity College's old library building, was founded in 1732 and is in use to this day. The library is 65 meters long, making it the longest single-room library in Europe. It houses over 200,000 of the college's ancient books and over 7 million pieces of printed materials. The library is entitled to a copy of every book ever produced in the British Isles. Its marble bust of prominent intellectuals lined the ends of the bookshelves. The barrel-vaulted oak ceiling was added to the library in 1858 and gives the library its iconic look. No, Harry Potter was not filmed here, but it definitely puts you in mind of the famous books and movies. If you get a moment when the room is quiet, and if you let your imagination wander, you just might feel like you are in a magical place. One of the main attractions of Trinity College is the 1,200-year-old Book of Kells, which was written by monks around the year 800 on the Scottish island of Iona. Viking invasion forced the monks to flee and established themselves in Kells, County Meath, Ireland, where the book was kept until the invasion of Oliver Cromwell, whose Protestant army was well known to turn Catholic churches into horse stables. In 1653, the book was moved to the library of Trinity College for safekeeping. The Book of Kells is a book of Christian Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John that is ornately decorated with time period artwork done by the monks on Iona. There are a handful of books such as this written from the time period, but none of them so beautifully decorated and so perfectly preserved. Today, anyone can visit the Book of Kells and its exhibit at Trinity College. The informative exhibit has a wealth of information on the history of the book and others like it. You can lay your eyes on the book itself in the vault room, but we can't show it to you in this video as no photography is allowed. The room is dark with a glass case in the middle that displays the open book. The pages are periodically rotated. What an amazing experience it is to lay your eyes on a 1,200-year-old book. Be sure to see our video that we have all about the Book of Kells. Today, the Book of Kells in Trinity College attracts approximately 7,500 visitors a year to see these historic wonders. It is rare for tourists to visit a university, but Trinity College is an iconic cultural destination in Ireland. In its 5-century history, it has had scores of prominent graduates and been at the center of important events. We are so proud to share its story with you. And remember, family tree nuts, let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.